the meeting in order. Will please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Village clerk, please call roll. Here.
Here.
All right, move to public comment. All questions, comments will be directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given an opportunity for 3 minutes to comment. Each speaker may allow one opportunity to speak. If you would please state your name for the record.
Bernice Brew on behalf of Sauk Citizens for Public Awareness. Last time we were here, the attorney provided me with the Illinois State statute of why you're keeping the village treasurer on board, and it's also covers Section D. However, I want to give you guys this handout that he gave me. Can I approach?
Sure, go ahead.
However, in this correspondence, the lawyer indicated that they were doing Section D to justify keeping the village treasurer on board. However, the village attorneys did not address item B, where the trustees called for 2/3 of a vote in order to remove this. I would like to hear from all the trustees and find out who's in favor of keeping the village treasurer on board when it's on the backs. We're paying for his salary for the next 2 or 3 years until it goes to court. I would like to know why the taxpayers are being put on the hook for keeping this guy a salary. If you review Section C and also the further research, and I also like to give you this copy. It indicates additional reasons why the village treasurer should not be left on board. Now, please, I hope you guys will take a look at this and give us a reason why you guys have not called this board to vote, and why the treasurer is still being, I didn't get enough copies. And why the treasurer is still on board, and why the taxpayers are, and I'd like to hear from the treasurer and why the village treasurer is still on board. My second question is also the Senior Relaxation Organization filed a complaint with the Human Rights Organization, and as I understand it, nobody has even addressed the issues. There's a lot of civil rights violations involving senior center, and I'd like to know why the treasurer, like the trustees, have not addressed this issue. This has been an ongoing problem since about October last year, and nobody's even looked into this issue. Also, I'd like to pass this out for the Human Rights Commission, where trustees have the right to even go over and take a look at this. So I'd like to hear from the trustees about what's going on with our civil rights and how come you guys haven't addressed it. People of this village voted for you guys, and you guys haven't even addressed what's going on in this village when we pay tax dollars.
Okay, time is up. First of all, I'm just going to make a recommendation that the trustees do not respond because this is an open litigation case. And anything you say, since this is an open meeting, can you?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you on that, but I didn't hear you. I think the back, you gonna say that?
All right, I'm. Testing. There we go. Thanks for speaking into it. First of all, I recommend the trustees do not respond to any of these. These are both, in fact, 2 of the things she's passed out is open litigation. Anything you say can be used against you, even though you're sitting up here. So I just want to make sure that we're very clear about this. Again, we're looking at what the village can do, but we're looking at the best way so that it doesn't cost us any litigation. There is one thing that, you talk about an ordinance or resolution. Again, you're talking about eliminating the position, which the board has done before, eliminating positions. Again, someone else has to do that position. So that means you're talking about eliminating a position and then putting someone else in that position. This is something that we're not going to discuss tonight because it is litigation, and you've got it highlighted that they have to be convicted of a disqualifying crime. So that's where we're at on that one. All right, next.
Larry Stewart, representing the Stewart family of Sauk Village. First thing I want to say is Black Lives Matter. Even in Sauk Village, I hope they seem not to, though. Yesterday, there was a case in Markham. I stood alone and I didn't mind. I believe fairness was the issue. I heard lies, deceit. Any black people in the senior group? None. None. This starts at the top. No, it's not. As long as you want to comment, he's not. He was one of the people that was the most honest critic yesterday. The judge said so. He was one of the people that was in the hallway first. Before I got there, it seemed. I understand attacking me. I understand attacking Kelvin Jones, the trustee, for Parks and Recs to get him removed within a year's time. A man once told me, when you're about to lose something, lie. I respect that man. What he stated, I didn't care for. I was accosted in the hallway. How? It wasn't that serious. If the man had stood up and said, sorry, I did it, it would have been over. 8 months later, I accosted him from the way the court read. There's no civil rights in Sauk Village. Black lives do not matter. This starts at the top and trickles down. I'm going to be here every week with some form of comment till the next election. And I'm going to be in the streets. More people know me than you. Is it time yet? Not yet? Sorry. But, say bye, Larry. Bye.
All right, I just want to make sure I make it clear on one false statement. Frank Williams, can you wave your hands? Frank Williams is on the senior committee. So there was a statement that there is no African Americans on the seniors. So I just want to make sure I cleared that up. Okay, next.
That wasn't clear to me.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Edward Sullivan. I work with Parks and Recreation.
That's your side.
And again, I'd like to ask why we don't have a program out here for the kids to have basketball or baseball. I had the excuse that he's getting it done, but he hasn't done anything. In the beginning, I was chairman of that committee, and now he took me off from that committee. And he said he was going to do a better job than what I would be doing. Well, I guess he did. He eliminated it entirely. Now, why don't you want anything for the kids out here? Why can't we work together for the kids? You stop doing this for the kids, I mean, you're not hurting us, or you, or me, or whatever. You're hurting the kids out here. And who are the first to complain that there's nothing for the kids out here? The ones that don't want the program. Now, when are you going to wise up? Think of the kids. You have certain things that you have out here that's been going on for years. But there's something, a program that would last for at least 6 months. Get wise. Do something. I'm talking about the whole trustees, all of you. Can't you all get together and say, hey, let's get this done? Let's have a program out here for the kids? I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about the kids. People might not think that I am, but I am. I've been out here since 1969, longer than a lot of you others. You have more to complain about this village than anything. You should be living back in 1969 and that where what we had. We had good things going. Maybe we should go back to that way. Well, that's what I have to say. But sometime, maybe we should wake up and listen to the kids. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I told him I would help him with this baseball thing, but he had to wait until next year. I cannot do it this year. And as far as going over there fixing the field, I'm trying to get him to, if we want to do that, that's fine. But that's like getting the horse before they get the cart. I think what he should do, as I told him, is to get some young men and start seeing if they want to play baseball. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we still is looking for people to go to the diversity dinner in in April. So there's papers back there, if not, you can see me, to go to the diversity dinner and have a good time there. We also went yesterday to Park Forest for this young police officer who got shot. And it was really a good thing to see how many people were there and to sit there and enjoy with them and talk. So what I'm trying to say is that we should start doing more things together and quit trying to point fingers so much. That is not what we best to do. It's not that important to have a big eye and a little U. That stuff needs to stop because it's just not going to work. I don't see it working yet. I don't think it's working no place else. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. Another thing I would like to know is because senior building going to be open tomorrow?
Should be, yes.
Okay, because the people want to do that, we want to do the ceramics.
Oh,
tomorrow.
ceramics, yes,
So I will come up and let them in for that.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Rose Langston. I just have a comment to make. I just want to say, if I were chair of the Public Works Committee, I would do something to help the Public Works Director rather than try to take his time away from his work. You have a lot of people on your committee. What you can do is have them submit to you and have this information of all the defective streets, like potholes, hydrants, lights, just to eliminate a lot of these unnecessary FOIAs that he keeps getting and wasting his time. And what you should do as the Public Works Chair is maybe have some sort of a spreadsheet or something, and when the Public Works Director gives his report of what has been fixed, mark that off on your chart so you can tell the public, instead of having them inundate Public Works with all these FOIAs. There are a lot of other things that you could do, like if there was certain things on street messing, people throwing unnecessary garbage all over the yard and it shouldn't be there. Some of these things you can note and then bring it forward, and if it's Public Works job, let them do it. So I would use my initiative instead of waiting for the mayor to tell me what to do. You're not in school, you were elected, so use your initiative. If you've been rejected for one thing, come up with a plan. Maybe you can overcome the objection. I know I was doing that at work. If something didn't work, come up with a different plan. Maybe once, twice, 3 times. Eventually you'll make it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Good.
Judy Cast here. It's my understanding that the police pension board had voted for a check on their finances as to what transpired and how much money was taken. And I wanted to know if they have completed that and if you've received any information on that. That out of the way, I would like to say that this past Sunday, the fire department had their pancake breakfast with the Easter Bunny. And although there weren't as many people as was anticipated, it was a really nice event. The kids were given books donated by the McConaughey Library to the P.L.A.N group. I think it was a fun time, a good time, and I wanted to thank the fire department for giving the P.L.A.N group an opportunity to work with them, and hopefully we'll continue to do so. That's it on me. Do you know anything about the audit?
On the police and fire pension, I have no information. And Chief, I think the FBI still have their investigations going on. So they have not.
I called today and confirmed.
Okay, so all we know is it's moving forward. We have no additional information on that. So sorry, I don't have anything.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Move to the reports of officers. First of all, I'd like to say, from the mayor's report, first of all, I'd like to say I was able to attend the fire department's annual pancake breakfast. It was a great time, Judy. I saw that you and the P.L.A.N that were there passing out books for the kids. I know I took just about my whole entire family, so at least all the ones that got up early Sunday morning. So we had a good time, and even took time to take pictures with the Easter Bunny and the wife and I, and of course Adam, the clown that he is, he had to get a picture too. So if you look at the mayor's blog or on Facebook, you can see Adam. So we put him out there. Second, I'd like to thank whoever dropped off the candy. Thank you very much. And it looks like I wasn't the only one who received it, so it looks like I see candy all the way down through here. So thank you. And seeing the candy here kind of reminds you that this Sunday is Easter. So I'd like to wish everyone a happy Easter. And remember the reason for Easter, that's what's important. All right, so Sunday the 27th, I hear lots of reports from all the committees, but there's a lot of events happening on Saturday. Make sure you tell your neighbors, especially tell the kids in your neighborhood, come down to the parks. And Parks and Recs, Trustee Jones is going to talk about the events happening this Saturday, so I'm not going to steal his thunder. He can tell everything that's going to happen. But participate. Don't boycott something just because someone's having it. It's about the kids. It's about our community. So please do not boycott Saturday. I'm asking you, come out, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your family members, come out. All right. With that said, I want to read off the collector's reports, and I don't know if you had time to read copies, but make sure the trustees get copies in all their boxes. We're going to start with November of 2015. We've got property taxes were $32,284.87. Other taxes were $51,340.84. Licenses and permits were $4,509.88. Fees and services were $281,487.77. There was nothing for grants. Transfers were $221,490.51. And miscellaneous was $7,392.98 for total revenues of $598,506.85. That's for the month of November 2015. I said probably not, so you can copy that, trustees. Yeah, copy sheet has been out. So, we got collector's report for December. And again, just in case you didn't hear me out there, our copy sheet has been down. We'll see if he has extra copies, make extra copies. So. December 2015, we got property taxes of $40,451.50. Other taxes of $469,690.78. Licenses and permits for $6,153. Fees and services of $175,345.43. Grants for $5,128.87. Transfers of $93,770.98. Miscellaneous is negative $24,776. Gave us total revenues of $865,839.80. That's for December 2015. And then the last one is for January of 2016. We have property taxes of $21,503.68, other taxes of $282,418.54, licenses and permits of $3,845, fees and services of $271,534.82, grants $930.58. There was no transfers. Miscellaneous was a negative of $39,393.15, but it gave us total revenues of $540,839.48. Those collectors' reports for November, December of 2015, and January of 2016. All right, with that said, I move to village clerk, Ms. Debbie Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My family also attended the fire department pancake breakfast and had a wonderful time as usual with the Easter Bunny. There is no village board meeting next Tuesday, March 29th, because it's the 5th Tuesday of the month. The free rain barrel program will begin again in April, and we'll be calling to resolve older issues first before we begin to take new orders. As previously reported, the website committee is in the process of reviewing the website for future updates. We are asking all elected officials, department heads, and committee chairs to review their information. If information is outdated or not on the website at all, it's because it was never received by the committee or is currently in the update process. Elected officials, if you are not included on the website, it is because we have not received a picture and a bio from you. We are asking all elected officials to provide updated information. Department heads, please submit current information on your department, including names of your staff and positions, useful links that pertain to your department, pictures of equipment and services performed if available. Committee chairs, please submit all information pertaining to your committee, including meeting dates and times, committee members, pictures from events, mission statements, and flyers for upcoming events. Check out the latest What's Happening in Sauk Village for updates on the Easter egg hunt scheduled for this weekend. Sauk Village Church of God is scheduled from 1 to 3 p.m. We're looking forward to giving away 20,000 eggs, 100 baskets, and 10 bikes. We're also looking forward to attending the Parks and Rec Easter egg hunt. Finally, Trustee Myers, my husband Frank, and I were honored to attend a service for Park Forest Officer Tim Jones yesterday. The last word was that Officer Jones remains in critical but stable condition. The notice was sent late in the day and the church was packed. The outpouring of support for Officer Jones and his family was incredible. Blue ribbons from the service were hung at poles from the Village Hall, the Police Department, and the Fire Department to show our love and support for Officer Jones and all first responders. Prayers to all, beginning with the dispatchers who take the first call, to the police, fire, ESDA, and ambulance personnel who run into the danger as we run away from it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Village Clerk. Move the Village Attorney, Attorney Mike McGrath.
Thank you, Mayor. Report.
Village Engineer's not with us tonight. He's in Springfield right now, dealing with water. So some things that they're doing down in Springfield. So he did call and let me know. Village Administrator and Director of Public Safety, J.W. Fairman.
Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees, let me start my report by reporting on certain issues that we've continued to talk about and we continue to work on. Vacant housing. We have a village master list as of March 22nd of this year that shows 444 vacant houses. Vacant houses that we know is actually vacant is 394. Vacant but occupied is 42 houses. They're down from 88 in January. And the demo list, houses on the demo list is 8 houses. We have created a master vacant list, and it is evolving to include the following information: vacancies, property without occupancy permits or water count, vacant businesses, vacant lots, demo list, active accounts owing more than $1,000, terminated accounts owing more than $1,000, property managers, public work location of digs, just B-box location that can't be repaired because they've been compromised, and Section 8 houses for rent locations, for sale locations. I want to say the Blueprint project, we have a vacant housing task force that's going to be chaired by, we're creating this, Chief Kowalski. It's going to be comprised of Sauk Village officers and village residents, and it's structured to appraise and correct the effects of vacant properties in terms of community safety. Chief Kowalski will expand on this task force in his report today. On the scavenger contract, we met with the scavenger service on March 10th to determine the number of collection points, adjust past billing as it relates to vacancies, and work out other collection-related matters. The current billing rate is $33.50 bi-monthly. Staff will make a report to the board based on the outcome of the meeting with the vendor. Water accounts. Through staff efforts, the village has collected $29,000 a year to date, more than that same period approximately a year ago. This equates to a 2016 projection of approximately $120,000 in additional water revenues. We have 28 water liens of terminated accounts of more than $1,000, and they will be filed with the Markham Courthouse at the end of the month. Unfortunately, we're getting down to a very small percentage of the people, but that live in Sauk Village. But residents or property owners who turn on the water at the B box after Public Works has shut it off will be subject to some kind of arrest for misdemeanor violations and theft of services. We have to look at these as damages. We can't get in there and turn the water off for legitimate people who are wanting sometimes move in, so we're being pushed to that level. Fortunately, it's a very low number of people. Note number 2, it should be noted that more than 75% of the village's occupied residents, I said this before, homes pay their water, sewer, utility bills on time and without complaint. 10% of the remaining 25% have a valid reason as to why their payments are in arrears and are given consideration by staff. The remaining 15% cost the staff, the village, tens of thousands of dollars annually. We are making, for those people that have serious problems that are low income, we're making adjustments to try to bring them up to date. But we cannot, there are certain people that are constantly tampering with the water supply. That's why I wanted to say it. Ordinance and resolutions, we talked about this before, and I would like to ask the board and mayor that the village police tow penalties be set aside by ordinance in a dedicated fund for police vehicle purchase or related costs. That vehicle found on property identified by the village as vacant be stickered, ticketed, and towed by Sauk Village Police Department within 48 hours. This is a key component of us getting the safety down, and Chief will expound on that later on. That after-hour turn-on fees be increased to $250. Trustee Burgess and other trustees, these are primarily people who are renovating their house, not individual businesses that come in here to ask for these kind of turn-ons. Before hours turn-on fee be increased to $200, and these figures are consistent with most municipalities of this type. Most turn-on fees are paid by rehabbers or individuals that were identified in the 15% of arrears account that had no valid reasons for non-payment. That the board approves the staff request not to exceed $115,000 to update the civic center, civic computer system on all financial components of the village. Mohan will detail this information if asked. Updating this component of the village will give staff greater effectiveness and efficiency in identifying and handling all financial information. In due course, this upgrade will pay for itself. Miscellaneous. The Orange Group has completed updating the employee handbook and will meet with me this Thursday to review the material. Staff is asking that the board approve the amount of more than now it's less than $7,000 annually for the police department, specifically from the Illinois Public Risk Fund grant to update Sauk Village Police Department general orders and policies and procedures for Illinois statute. We think that we're sure that this will curtail some of the lawsuits that we're receiving. Staff is currently reviewing the employee insurance coverage and interviewing the insurance group to ensure that Sauk Village is receiving the best coverage at a competitive cost. Staff will make proposals to the board prior to the village's annual budget, if possible. The budget 2015 and 16 annual budget will be submitted to the mayor and subsequent to the finance committee. Certainly, based on that time frame, he'll get it by Thursday, and I'm sure he's going to rush to get it to the department. So I want to say one other thing that's of importance. We have to address the water and EMS building. We went back out there based on Kevin Weller's giving me a report dated 2014, which indicated that there was a serious, serious problem with the structure. We went out there with Mr. Zarnick, and he says it's worse than that. It should not be occupied. These roofs are falling. We have people in there, and we have equipment in there. I think it's a pretty serious liability. I think Mr. Weller is going to start moving his people out to a building he's already identified, and we will be looking for a way to put EMS in some kind of temporary housing, preferably something that will be identified at a later date. Mr. Mayor and Board of Trustees, that completes my report.
Mr. Mayor.
Trustee.
Yeah, Mr. Fairman, I have a couple of questions. First one, the toll fund. I thought we talked about that 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I had asked that question at that time. Where was that money going? How long has it been going to the general fund? Because the last time we talked about it, the money was going for specifically what you just said. It was being set aside to purchase vehicles. That was the last that I knew of it, and that was done when Halifas was here. And so is it in, are you trying to start another fund for that? I mean, another line item, or where has the money been going for the toll fund?
You know, I can't answer you about where the funds have gone in the toll fund, because I think it's been put in the general account. But we certainly can get you the amount of toll over whatever period of time you want. You know, I can't answer that question right now.
No one, so no one.
I said it's going to the general fund.
Okay. Also, did I hear you correctly that there may be an increase in the garbage bill at a near date?
No, I didn't say that. I was talking, my report specifically says that the we met with the village scavenger services representatives on March 6th to determine the number of collection points, adjust past billing as it relates to vacancies, and work out other collection related matters. We're just in the process of getting this going with the scavenger services representative. I'll just let people know, both staff, trustees, and mayor and the audience people, the current billing rate is presently $33.50 every 2 months. That's all, that's what I said.
Okay, and the last one was the turn-on fee. Currently, what is the turn-on fee if someone needs to have their water cut on after hours?
It is $25 in the morning. After 2:30, it is $50.
So we want to go from 50 to 250.
We're going to pass this off to Public Works Committee, so trustee, you're going to have plenty of time to work with the administrator. So we're going to pass, JW, I want you to work with Public Works Committee, Trustee Burgess, on both the water ordinance increase that you're making a recommendation for, and also to review the software hardware that's needed for the water department. And we'll expect Trustee Burgess for your committee to come back with a recommendation. I just need to know if you can have something either by the first Tuesday or the third Tuesday of next month.
Our meeting is going to be on the second Tuesday, so make it the third Tuesday.
So, and if something happens and you're not prepared, make sure you hear myself and the village clerk to have you taken off the agenda.
Okay.
So if you would make sure that's on the third Tuesday. All right?
And also with the garbage, we had talked about having Republic, in other words, we'd not collect for them. I mean, how is that going as far as, it used to be that way where we would pay our garbage bill directly to the scavenger service, and now we charge a fee, but I mean now we're taking all the money in, and that's a lot of times is where we get the discrepancy, because we have to do all the paperwork and let everybody know, the ones that, well, let the scavenger service know who has and has not paid. Is that moving? Are you moving toward them collecting their own money, or are we still going to be the ones to be the collectors of the fee?
No, we haven't presented anything to the board yet. I think right now is the communication between the village administrator and Republic Allied, whatever you want to call them, but the scavenger service, to take a look at, again, what the current fees are, working out, making sure that we're not getting charged for every single house, if every single house is not paying the village. I'm sure he's going to come back probably with a recommendation. However, it's probably going to be another 30 to 45 days before they have all the information.
Thank you.
All right, anything else? Justin.
Excuse me. Mr. Fairman, a couple of things that you mentioned earlier. And I remember us talking about the tolls probably a couple of meetings ago. Is there an effort to have a separate line item or a place for the tolls to go to instead of going to the general fund?
I think that's one thing that the village administrator is recommending. We'll look at it when we look at the budget. They present the budget tonight. The village finance director presents it.
Second item, you mentioned $115,000 to update the computer system for finance. And you say that it'll pay for itself in due course.
I don't think it was 115,000. I think it was about 15,000.
Actually 15,000. I said 115, it's 15,000.
Okay. And the third thing, could you recover, you said I have $700,000 to the police department to update something? Is that correct?
$700,000. One thing I talked about is having the police department have the ability to, from this grant to update their general orders and policy and procedures and keep them updated.
And what's the cost of that?
Approximately $7,000 a year. Chief Walton talked about that when he gets around to it.
All right, thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor.
Trustee.
JW, is there any way possible way that yourself, the village engineer that made the inspection of the Public Works garage and has the building, is there a way you can give us some type of a detailed report to exactly what you guys found? Because I remember a few years back, Mr. Darnell, that they did a survey and an inspection of that building and came back that it was all right. Then about maybe 6 months later, there was another inspection and they found some major deficiency in the building. And then all of a sudden now we did a third inspection and we found the building is in danger of collapsing and is unsafe for our employees to be in it. Is there any chance that, Mr. Mayor, we can get some type of detailed report on that inspection?
We're going to have a detailed report. In fact, there's going to be a meeting, one of the committee meetings. We'll get Jim in here to go over the report and other findings. So the board will get an update during committee meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I talked to Mr. Zarnik. He is going to put out a report about what he saw. So he's in Springfield, but he has agreed to put out a report.
Thank you, that's all I have.
All right. Anything else? All right. Seeing no hands, we'll move to reports of trustees, board committees, beautification committee. Beautification committee will be hosting the annual community clean sweep on May 21st, 2016, from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. It will start here behind the village hall. As part of the fundraising efforts, the committee will be holding a community flea market and craft show June 4th, 2016 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Edward Hazel Community Center, which is also behind the police department. The committee will be putting out flyers shortly with all the details. Committee's always looking for new committee members as well as volunteers. If interested, please leave your information at the front desk at the Village Hall or email the committee at svbeautification, the stand for Sauk Village Beautification, right? At saukvillage.org. This is a report, again, the reports always come from our chair, which is Linda Todd, but lastly, before I end, I would ask everyone to keep Linda in your prayers. Linda has been under the weather lately, and she's been in and out of hospital, so she does a lot of work with her handful of committee, less than a handful. I think there's only about 3 or 4 of them on that committee. So if you would, please keep her in your prayers. All right, with that said, we'll move to Parks and Recs Committee, Trustee Jones.
First off, I want to start out with, it's pretty sad that the mayor had to address anyone within earshot that not to boycott anything that's happening over in Parks and Recreation. Kids are very intelligent. They pick up on everything. If your heart is not in it, you should not attend it. let's just be honest. Kids pick up on all of the negativity, and if you feel that it's something forced on you, you should not attend. And as far as what Rose was saying, I agree with you. It is a big waste of time with FOIAs and FOIA requests for something that's being requested over and over and over again. I agree with you 100%. Parks and Recreation is in need of volunteers. I'm trying to put a summer program together for the youth, and it's going to take some volunteers to help out with some of the programs that the youth will be involved in. If you want to contact me, feel free to leave a message on the voicemail, or you can talk to me afterwards. I'm going to need volunteers during the summer for a summer program, during the daytime. Depending on the volunteers, depending on how far I get to go with the summer program. Saturday, there would be the Easter egg hunt, starting at 11 o'clock and ending at 2 o'clock. Light refreshments will be served. I hope everyone comes out and enjoy themselves, and Easter Bunny will be there, and the kids can take their pictures, bring your cameras, and come out and enjoy yourself. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to Public Works, Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We didn't have a meeting this month, but we will be having one next month, April 13th at 7 p.m. here in the Village Hall. We have not only what you talked to us about, we have some other things that we're going to discuss. We did have a meeting, myself and the mayor, and we discussed a few things, so I'm going to bring that back to my co-chair and with my subcommittee so we can move forward with what we're trying to do. And I just want to make one comment. I'm not here to micromanage anybody's department. I'm here to get information, but when someone tells me what I should do, I have a problem with that because I already know what needs to be done. But when you highlight things like that, it makes it sound as if I'm not doing or don't know what to do. I've already talked to the Public Works Director. I've talked to the mayor about what needs to be done. I just had to get clarification before I get out there and start doing something and come to find out that that's not what is wanted. So I appreciate the comment, I appreciate the criticism, but as they say, I got this. Thank you. That concludes my report.
All right, Trustee. Move to Housing and Intergovernmental Committee, Trustee Tates.
The Housing and Intergovernmental Committee will meet on March 31st at 7 p.m. We have both of those committees on the same night, and they go back to back. So the Housing Committee will start at 6:30, and it probably will last an hour. And then the IGRC meeting follows that. So I would say approximately 6:30 that meeting will get started, but that's on March 31st. Thank you.
All right. Trustee, just so you know, I'll be forwarding you an email. I received a complaint about housing. I'll be sending it to the Housing Committee so that you can respond. I'll respond as a village resident. In fact, they started off saying I probably, as mayor, would not respond. So I'm going to respond, but I'll make sure that I copy you on the email, and then I will forward it to you also, again, about housing along 394 complaint. So move to Public and Safety and Ordinance Review Committee, Trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a brief report. We did not have a meeting this month for the Public Safety and Ordinance Review. Two of my members were sick, and I didn't have a quorum to have an overall meeting. We will have one this month, April. The fire department wants to ask me to announce that the fire department thanks everybody came out for the pancake breakfast. They want to thank the library for the gracious donation, and you hand out all the books. The kids loved them, and I will give the fire department report when the chief comes. He is ill, been ill for the last couple of days. With that, Mr. Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to Neighborhood Watch Committee, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to make an announcement and remind everyone that Neighborhood Watch will be having our meeting as we do every month on the second Monday at 7 o'clock at the fire station. We are always looking for new Block Club captains to come and join our Neighborhood Watch program. I also wanted to make a statement in regard to something that the mayor mentioned in regard to board counting events. I also feel that it is important for us to understand that we do what we do for the children. It's all for the children. Different programs that different committees have. Of course, if you're having something on the same day, you cannot attend something else. I can only speak for Neighborhood Watch and for my own committee and my only Block Club captains. We've been announcing the play that we're doing in an attempt to raise money for book bags since November. We announced in November that we would be having rehearsals January, February, March, and the play would be Friday, April the 15th. We have been doing that since we have been announcing it since November. I do congratulate all of the elected officials and all the programs that they're doing with us having over 1,700 students in the village with all 3 schools, including Blue Trail, that we can service. There's a lot of students out here. It's a lot of kids for all of us to take care of. Many, hundreds, literally 1,700. There are over 10,000 residents in Sauk Village. There are plenty of volunteers for us all to get out and knock on doors and get people to get on band with whatever we're doing. And I applaud all of us that are working, whether we work for the children or whether we have committees where it's just a few people on your committee. But volunteers come with a personal invitation for me. When I'm talking to somebody, whether it's at the store or whether it's just in passing, and I let them know what Neighborhood Watch is doing and I engage in conversation with them, I invite them to come on board, come to our meetings at the fire department, come and get involved in the play. It's for all of the kids in Sauk Village. I've heard all kinds of things, but it doesn't bother me because I'm focused and I'm going to do what I do because I know in the end it will benefit community involvement as well as public safety, and it would be something great for the kids that on the first day of school we can contribute as Neighborhood Watch. And we do have several trustees and the clerk and the mayor that contribute every year to the Neighborhood Watch book bag giveaway. They pass me money, they give me money to help buy supplies, and I appreciate that. And where I can get in and help other organizations, I do. So if I'm not someplace, it's not that I'm just sitting at home, I don't want to be a part. I am busy working, knocking on doors like every other elected official, trying to make your program a success by getting volunteers to come out. So if I can help anybody, just let me know, and if I'm available, I'll be there. If I'm working too, then of course I can. And finally, I want to say that I want to invite all of you that won't be able to make the play. If you want to make a donation for the book bags, you can see me or any Block Club captain. Also, they're taking money at the front office. Any day you can drop off money for book bags or for tickets. And we're looking for a fun time and an exciting time. I remember at the genesis of Mayor Hanks' term as mayor, one of the statements that he made was, one of his visions for Sauk Village was that he wanted to get the community out of the house and to get them engaged in more activities where the families could come together, like the corn dog roast, and to get them out for the fireworks shows. So this is another event trying to get people out of the house to come to a play. You're going to be surprised who's going to be in it. It's funny, but it's serious, and it's entitled, Are You My Neighbor? And with that being said, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Trustee. Move to Budget, Finance, and Community Relations Committee, Trustee Williams. And welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Budget and Finance Committee will be meeting later on this month, and we will be meeting as soon as we have the information for the third quarter to be completed, as well as for the budget from the mayor, so we can review before presenting that to the board. I would just like a little reminder that we should start scheduling budget meetings for April. So I know I've said it a couple times, but it's our budget ends April 30th, so we should probably start thinking about that. The Public Relations Committee is, as I stated last week, is moving forward with the Student Government Day process. Please look out for more information about that. I know that it was e-blasted and we're preparing to put out a flyer. Also, if you could please let any 8th graders that you know be aware of this process. We would like to continue with the Student Government Day process. As of this point, We are still trying to go forward with everything that we've done in the past, but this is going to be dependent upon the amount of students and when we can do it. So the student government date is to be determined right now, but we will make sure that we keep the board informed. And lastly, as you may or may not know, 2017 is the 60th anniversary of the Village of Sauk Village, and the Public Relations Committee, along with the Community Outreach Committee and the village clerk, have already started talking about what we're going to do. The 50th anniversary was a big deal. I know that we had a committee and there was money that was put away for this 50th anniversary. I can't see that happening for the 60th anniversary. I don't know if that's in the budget, but it's definitely something that our committee is working on. And I know the village clerk was a huge part of the 50th anniversary, so we are happy that she has agreed to work with us. And anybody who would like to help us in that effort, please see myself or the village clerk. But we are looking forward to the 60th anniversary of the Village of Sauk Village next year. That concludes my report.
And trustee, just want to make sure it's official. I'm asking you to make sure you start a subcommittee. As chair, you can do that.
Okay.
So start a subcommittee, and we'll look for, let's see if we can get you on the agenda the middle of April, beginning of May. That gives you time to put together a plan.
Yeah.
As of right now, it is not in the budget, and again, I have not forgot about the budget. This is a very challenging year for the budget, and Mohan, if you can notice, he has less hair, and he has more bags under his eyes because he's losing sleep over his budget. So we've gone back and forth, and I'm sure we're going to go back and forth some more on this budget. And while he's losing sleep and losing hairs, I probably have daggers coming from the department heads. I don't want to look this way. So again, we talked about how challenging the budget's going to be, and we're trying to make sure we present a balanced budget. Again, based off of what we know is coming out of Springfield, what we hear is coming out of Springfield, for what's not coming out of Springfield. So we will be very conservative on our budget this year, just like we were last year. And we are working on it. So I wanted to have it to your committee by now, but we're still going back and forth on it.
Should we expect it by the end of this month, or should we wait until April? Because we do have other things to meet about, but I don't want to meet until we can kind of do everything cohesively.
As you can understand, with the budget, it comes to me and we make some more cuts and we make some more changes, and we have to go back, and maybe those changes can't be made. So there's a lot of going back and forth, back and forth. Now, I wanted to have it to you by now. However, I don't.
Right.
End of the month, we're looking at next week is the end of the month. I'm going to probably tell you that it's probably not going to be possible. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we get it to you enough time so that we can, start talking probably about the second or third, maybe third week of April, if possible. But again, with what's coming out of Springfield, we get different news constantly. We just saw that the Senate passed a proposed budget, but they've added $100 million to it from what the House approved. So now it's going to go to the House, and we already know that the governor says he's going to veto it. So it's going to be going back and forth and looking at where we're going to receive money, talking to other communities on where they're at under funding. Are they receiving their funds? And so there's a lot of work involved in this one.
Then can we expect to have a meeting on Monday committee regarding the third quarter and the audit? That way we can kind of go forward with that and we can hold out till next month for the budget.
Okay. So,
I have a question.
Trustee.
Trustee Williams, is it firm on the student government day that the village municipality is going to hold that?
Is it firm? Our plan right now is yes.
See, and the reason I ask is because of, I guess, the discord between the district and the municipality. And I did receive a letter, which you had mentioned last week, from the district. And just cursory feedback is that it seems like our children are going to be put in the middle of this, and they're going to have to decide, or the parents are going to have to decide, do they participate in the municipalities, student government? Do they do something for this whole thing that's going on between the two governments? So that's why I asked when it was affirmed, that we could not at least, I don't know, take a step back and let this play itself out. And the reason I'm asking is because I'm going to have the intergovernmental relations person or persons from the district at my meeting, and they're certainly going to ask about this conflict. So I want to be able to address it as gently or as appropriately as possible. But it does seem like our children are going to be thrown in the middle of this. Should I go right or should I go left? And damn. And I just think it's
Exactly.
I just want to make a statement. I don't understand. I mean, this is a municipality that's hosting a student government day, and not to be mean toward the school district, but they're a separate taxing body. If the separate taxing body wants to have their own student government day, that's up to them. We have other events for our youth. We have basketball programs, and the schools have their own basketball programs. We have other events throughout the year for the youth, and this is for the youth of Sauk Village. This is the Sauk Village municipal side having an event. If the schools wish not to participate, which would be very sad, that is their prerogative. And again, they can have their own student government night at the school, a separate taxing body. The libraries could have their own student government night because they're a separate taxing body. Does Sauk Village want the schools to be involved and participate? Yes, most definitely. But, and I don't want anyone to take this wrong, the schools do not dictate what the village of Sauk Village on the municipal level does. So to ask children in our community to write essays, to be part of a night that we have done for, what, over 30 years?
This is the 41st.
This is the 41st year. There's nothing wrong with that. Usually, yes, they do go to the schools and they ask for essays to come to the schools. But if the school, District 168, refuses to participate, then we'll make it available for the youth to be able to present those essays. So again, I have some concern when people want to say that the school, District 168, a separate taxing body, would have any authority or any say on any activity or any event that the village of Sauk Village on the municipal level would want to hold.
Okay, you're missing. I never said they had authority to do anything as far as a municipality, so you're misstating that part. I simply stated that I think our children are being held as pawns in the middle of this. I never said Sauk Village should not have it. I asked her if it was firm. Okay, so I'm not dictating anything, nor did I receive in my letter anything from the school district dictating. And you can't compare what we're doing to what they're doing in the district. Yes, we have basketball programs, they have basketball programs. Totally different animals. Totally different. You can't compare the two. So I think if we're gonna do comparisons, it has to be apples to apples, oranges to oranges, and not cross that. I think with the hard feelings that have been generated between the municipality and the district need to be addressed and need to be amended, need to be resolved. And I think the way to do that is not for us to keep going to the right and let them go to the left. We should see if we can find common ground to mend hurt feelings or misunderstandings or whatever has occurred between the two bodies.
Trustee Tate.
And I agree, and I think common ground is that the committee continues to do what they've done for 41 years. The committee says we still want the school board to be involved, we still want the schools to be involved, and we want you to participate. And if they're looking for apologies from certain individuals, maybe they go to those individuals and try to work those out. But again, just because someone says something, it should not cause hard feelings between two taxing bodies. Okay, we're all adults here. Okay, so again, this is a 41-year tradition that we say we're still having it. Here's the date. We want you to participate. We want you to be part of it. We want to be able to recognize you at this meeting, and we want you involved. But if they refuse and they do not want to be part of it, It's still something that the village for 41 years has been doing, will continue to do. It will still continue to move forward.
That's great, but you have not had the kind of discord, I do not think,
And I don't understand the discord.
that you have now.
Because maybe the people who started Discord, maybe they should work that out, but I don't understand Discord. I mean, I didn't say anything against the schools. And it seems like I'm getting a lot of blame for it, okay?
Well, I think you started.
So I didn't start anything. I think you did. You were the first one that made the statement, so.
Just a couple of things, because the question, let me just give a kind of an overview. Some people may not know about Student Government Day. Yes, it is. This is the 41st year. And yes, the school does participate in Student Government Day. But one thing that is of note is that up until recently, under my direction with Student Government Day and the Public Relations Committee, this was not a mandatory essay written for the schools. This was something that was presented to 8th graders of the Village of Sauk Village and said, hey, if you want to participate, you can participate. One of the things that the committee before me, and it was kind of passed along to me as, hey, heads up, there were students that were not wanting to participate. They weren't getting a lot of the essays. So what we did is we reached out to District 168 and we said, hey, you help me, I help you. This is an opportunity for your students. It could also be used for you as an opportunity for an English lesson. So you can use it in your English classes. They took that upon. So as of right now, every 8th grade student, previously, up until this year, was required to write this essay, to be a part of it. That was not the case before. So we, as a public relations committee, enjoyed working with the school district, and we hope to do so again because we had 156 essays to go through. We didn't have to, kind of do the legwork and do the advertising and everything to find students. They were basically given to us. We didn't have to do any extra work. So we thank the school district for that, and now we're going to have to go out and we're going to have to bust our butts, and if we want to do this activity, we're going to have to put the legwork in. Which, I mean, we're absolutely fine with doing that. So that's just kind of the history. And as far as what you were saying about the kids, being a pawn or kind of being in the middle, I truly hope that A, no kid feels that way, and B, that that's not provoked by any adult. Because adults are what's in the middle of this conversation right now, and I understand that there are some hurt feelings, and I know that that the only comment that the school board, that in my opinion, is kind of focusing on is the comment that I said regarding the essays and how they were seen to have been all written in groups, and you can kind of tell which classes came from where, which is fine. They can just focus on the one comment that was made, that's fine. But I did address the schools with a letter, and it was not responded back to until we received a letter last week. And when it was responded, when they did respond that, as I stated at the board meeting, they had 6 items that they wanted the committee, to agree to before they would proceed for next year. And as I stated, 5 out of 6 are already done. They're already in our policy that we provide to the school district every single year. It's already something that we do. So I kind of feel like when they wrote it, they looked at our policy that we give the superintendent every year, and they added those things. We provide them a scheduled timeline of what we're doing. We provide them the essay topic well before February. We actually give it to them in January, but they said February in their letter. We provide all those things. The only thing that we don't do, and which was number 6 on their letter, was that we would provide them the reports of the board and the department heads the Friday before Student Government Day so that they could work with them that Monday, the winners. That's not something that we've ever done. And as I stated last Tuesday, I don't think that's a bad idea. Now sometimes, and I'm not going to name any names, but sometimes we have some trouble getting some reports from people till the day of. So that would require the elected officials and the department heads to be a little bit better about their game and give us our reports so we can have them, so we can give them to the school with, Rosie Williams is the police chief. This one goes to her. Cecil Tates is the fire chief. This one goes to him. We would have to put, which is fine, we can do that if we made sure we got all of our reports from the people who passed them in. But that was the only thing on their letter that is not currently done. So I have no problem with following their suggestions, not at all. And I understand that it's too late today, or this year, for their participation, but if, according to their letter, that if those 6 items are agreed to, they're willing to come again next year. I look forward to District 168 being a part of it next year. But I don't want to stop something that has been happening for 41 years. And while we missed their support, because as the relationship was building, we had the direct pool of students, number one. Then we got a little bit more support from them because we had, on the second day, when we stopped doing the dinner because it became too expensive, in 2009, we weren't able to have the dinner, which used to be paid for by the village, and then obviously for budgetary reasons, we couldn't do it anymore. We started doing a day of fun the Thursday after Student Government Day, where we would pick them up half day at school, we'd take them bowling, we'd provide lunch, we'd give them prizes. When that occurred, the school district said, hey, here's a bus, on us, don't worry about it. We're gonna miss that. We also had volunteers coming with us because the first couple of years, it was me and my committee and the gracious department heads and employees that we have. There were a couple of years where we felt outnumbered by the kids. They were a little more rambunctious than we thought that they would be. So we told the schools the very next year, they gave us 2 English teachers to work with. We had them all day. And they were very good, and we had on the second day too. They were very good about helping us. I will say the past couple of years, I feel like the students that we've gotten have gotten better and better each year. They've just been more behaved, they've been more attentive every single year, which was good. So we were happy to have the chaperones, but we didn't necessarily need them. So those are things that we are gonna miss this year. The chaperones, the school bus, that school district support, being able to work in between them. But if the school district is gonna have a Student Government Day, which I think that they should, they've only done it one time since I've been a trustee, but I think that they should have one. And the only way I look at it is that's 2 opportunities for kids to participate. They can see how we work over here, they can see how they work over there. I think that it's important that they know how their tax bodies work. I think that's a good idea since we have a library trustee on the board. I think that that's something she should bring back to the library. Maybe they want to do a Student Government Day over there. Again, as many opportunities as the students have to kind of shine and be a part of something bigger than themselves, I think is great. But I think that the only way that the students are going to feel pressured or feel that they're put in the middle is if adults feed into that. And as adults, we should be the ones to say, you know what? Government's government. Sometimes governments don't agree. Sometimes there's some things that you have to go through, but in the end, this is about you. You're an 8th grader. This is something that you can participate in. Let the adults have their little drama. You do what's best for you, and this is something for you. I would hate if there are people who are discouraging students. Just like the mayor and Trustee Jones stated before, talking about having to discourage. I would hate to hope, or I would hate to know that somebody is discouraging students, or that our Student Government Day is being badmouthed by anybody on this board, on their board, on the library board, any residents, any Sauk Village employees, anybody. I would hate to think that somebody is telling an 8th grader not to participate in something that has been, what I hear, has been great. We still have, there's a person who writes for the Southland Voice who comes, and he's one of my students from Student Government Day. I get letters and Facebook requests and everything else from students. I had a student at the school board meeting speak very highly about the fact that she was a part of Student Government Day, her brother was a part of Student Government Day, her sister was a part of Student Government Day. The Turner family is big for Student Government Day. They're usually pretty good winners. So I would hate to think that this is something that would be stopped because of a misunderstanding or miscommunication between boards. So again, personally, I don't know that you got that feedback. I got one person who kind of questioned if we were still going to do it. I would hate that anybody would think that this is negatively put out there, but our goal is to still go through with it. If we can find the support, and if we can find the kids, and if we can go through have the support from our department heads, because we're going to need you this year, then yes, we're hopeful that we can still go through.
All right, thank you.
All right. Move to item 5, reports of committees and commissions. I think Trustee Myers, you have the fire department report.
Yes, sir. Over the past 2 weeks, the fire department responded to 26 calls. The fire department responded also to 4 vehicle accidents, 4 fire alarms, 8 medical assists, 2 CO alarms, 2 smoke investigations, 3 assists to other agencies, 1 brush fire, 1 structural fire, and 1 rekindle That's on the Peterson structural firm. Once again, the fire department is starting the business license inspection this week, going out inspecting the business for their license. And also, special thanks we'd like to give to Ms. Cass and her group of ladies that assist in handing out the books from the library. Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to Police Department, Chief Kowalski.
Mr. Mayor, trustees, the police department had a total of 20 arrests for the last 2 weeks. 6 were felonies, 14 were misdemeanors. They responded to 511 calls for service. Some cases of note: on March 15th, the Sauk Village and Dalton Police Departments respectfully received clarification from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office that no additional charges will be filed on the passenger involved with the Dalton carjacking. Therefore, this will not be classified as a homicide. On March 14th, officers were dispatched to a domestic disturbance on the 800 block of Maryburn Drive. They learned that a juvenile victim got into an argument with her aunt who was living at the residence. The aunt became angry with her niece, grabbed a knife and tried to stab her. The victim grabbed the knife and received severe lacerations on both her hands. The victim was taken to the hospital, and the offender was taken into custody and charged with felony aggravated battery. On March 16th, detectives conducted a follow-up investigation reference an incident that took place on March 15th in the 2000 block at 218th Street. The initial incident on the 15th was a large street disturbance approximately a week ago when we had that beautiful weather. There were over 20 people that decided that they couldn't get along, and officers remained in the area to suppress additional fights from breaking out. While the officers were there, they received another 911 call stating that there was another large fight in the area at 224th and Brookwood. The caller stated that there were over 20 people involved with sticks and bats in that area. We had to break away a couple of officers to go and respond to that, only to find that there was no disturbance. They did a canvass of the area, which revealed that there was no disturbance, and the call was a ploy in an attempt to get the officers out of the area. So our investigators worked with Sprint, received the cell phone number, got the 911 call on tape, and found the subject, brought her into the police station, and she admitted to making the call after she heard her voice on the 911 call. And she was charged with disorderly conduct and one case of false police report. So if you think those little things are going to get the police not to respond, think again, because we're going to go after you. On March 19th, officers responded to a battery in the 2600 block of Sauk Trail. Officers learned that the offender was already gone from the scene. The victim explained she was sitting in her car talking to a friend when the offender approached her, punched her several times in the face through the car window. In self-defense, the victim pulled a pocket knife out and stabbed the offender in the arm. The friend of the victim pulled the offender away, who then fled. Officers were able to stop the offender vehicle and transported her to the hospital. After she was stitched up, she was then taken to the police department and charged with battery. On March 11th, we hosted an informal meet and greet for the South Suburban Police Departments. This was coordinated by William Townsell, who's the Assistant Director of Community Policing Office for the Chicago Police Department. Assistant Townsell coordinates these type of meetings as introduction to many services available to law enforcement agencies throughout the Cook County area. The different agencies that were in attendance were Lansing PD, Phoenix PD, Calumet City, Cal Park, Dalton, Hazel Crest, and of course we were there. Some of the groups in attendance who gave presentations were the Housing Authority of Cook County, U.S. Bank, Cook County Forest Preserve Community Engagement Specialists, National Runway Safe Line, and Community Investment Corporation. Back to the disturbance on March 15th, just so happened that after meeting the Cook County, the Assistant Director for Cook County, we were able to determined that at one of the addresses, those individuals are on Section 8 housing. We have training coming up for 2 officers. We enrolled them in truck enforcement class with all the trucks in our area. They're going to this class through the Niemer Group. On last week, I met with the Illinois Public Risk Fund loss control consultant who provided information on a commitment to their loss control and safety. We also were able to secure a grant for our new policy and procedure program, which Trustee Tate's is called Lexipol. It is in electronic form of policies, procedures, and general orders. And most departments are going this route. They are coordinated with the Illinois state statutes. So we're looking into that right now, and I'll be reporting on that further. One thing that Mr. Fairman mentioned was the task force on crime-free housing. As everyone knows, and it's such a tragedy with the Park Forest police officer that got hurt, that was a vacant house. And we have many vacant homes here in Sauk Village. So we'll be putting together and identifying some goals and objectives as well as individuals to be on that task force. The last thing I'd like to say is please support Kelvin Jones and his Easter egg hunt. I know I took part in his Halloween trunk and treat, and it was a great time. And if the Easter egg hunt is just half as good as trunk or treat, it's going to be a great time. That concludes my report.
Mayor, point of clarification. Point of clarification for Mr. Chief Kowalski. What was the basis of the state's attorney's decision?
The initial medical examiner's report did not find any shots, stabbings, or blunt force trauma, but the toxicology is still pending.
What about his own free will?
He could walk out on his own, and that's what the state's attorney's office decided.
All right. Move to Public Works Department, Director Kevin Weller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Reporting on a few items that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. Street lights, we had 2 poles that were down due to accidents. One was 22132 Torrance Avenue. That's been replaced and back up. Lights on, everything's working. The other one is 22429 Carolina Drive. That was another accident. That light is up at this time and all is working. Currently, we are working on about 9 fault wires, underground wire faults or overhead wire faults. The first one we're working on is 21445 Peterson, and it's a corner location at Constance and Peterson. That's an underground fault we'll be dealing with. And the second one is 1601 215th Place. It appears that when a contractor a few years back put a slide box slab in, they may have damaged the wire underground, which burnt it. Also, day-to-day operations, we're getting calls all the time about different complaints. We do get notices at the Village Hall. We are addressing them in, I would say, order of jobs rather than individual jobs. So when it comes to potholes, we're gathering all those together, working in a section, which we're currently working on the south side of town. Other jobs and other requests will be posted as we work through them. Also, we have put up 5 marquees within the past 2 weeks. Buildings in the Village Hall, we've had a little problem with our card system in the building here. That has been taken care of. It is running. Everything is up and running at this time, so all doors and cards are currently working. Police department door, we had an issue with a hasp over there, a locking device. That has been changed out. The keypad was giving them a little problem. That's been changed out. The CC, the community center gym floor, last week we stripped the floor and waxed it, polished it all up, so that's in the process. We are currently also working in the bleacher room and the gym side of the building, doing drywall repairs and following up with some tile work that we'll follow up once we get some reports back. Currently, the next scheduled date for the floor and tomorrow will be the 23rd and 24th. We'll be doing the floors inside the rental side of the community center, so they'll be closed for those 2 days. Let's see here. Also, the potholes, the water. Day-to-day emergency operations. We've had staff out with the vacant housing and the demo group. We've repaired 4 B boxes and jetted out 4. And we started working on the south side shut-off list. We're currently, I would say, about 3/4 of the way through it. Garbage, day-to-day garbage picking. It seems like with the winds we've been having lately, the debris is everywhere. We've had staff members out multiple times at the Village Hall, 23rd Street, in big open areas, and it seems like it's back the next day. But we ask for help from the residents again. Always, if you see illegal dumping, call the police. Please help clean up around your houses, and at least out right in front of your house on the street. That'd be appreciated. Hydrants and valve replacement. We have a hydrant scheduled at 22132 Torrance Avenue, right outside of Rickover School. We're planning that around the Rickover School's their break here, because we're going to have to do a shutdown of the school. There will be a boil order posted. The only affected areas will get the boil order, so any resident that's affected directly will get a notice in their mail, and then when it's lifted, they'll get the notice to be lifted. The school's already been notified about the boil order, and all they're needing to do is, once we're done, come back in and check out all their plumbing, make sure everything is off when they come back. That should not affect them in any other way. Vehicles, we're still working on all the vehicles in all the departments as we can. We just did a repair on the K9 vehicle, a wire harness burnt out. We had a wheel bearing replacement on the Trailblazer that the administration uses. We've had our ditch mower getting ready to pull that out for a lot of the areas that are harder to cut. We're trying to get in front of those. We had our ditch mower serviced, and we have a police department vehicle that we dropped off at the dealer today for service. Sewer complaints, we've had only 2 sewer complaints in the last 2 weeks. One was a homeowner, one was jetted. The village doesn't put anything in the sewers, so most of the problems that come out of anything is coming from the homes. At this time, all we found was a large amount of paper at one of the entranceways, starting to create a backup, but it was taken care of. Weather events, due to the high wind events, we did wait 2 weeks longer than we wanted to for the branch pickup, but we had some wind events after the first event. So our staff has been out the last 2 days picking up branches from the storm event only the wind. We're not picking up any trees, full trees or anything like that. Our regular scheduled pickup will be start on 5/2, so that you can put anything out then. Make sure you stack it and aim it towards the street, so staff has an easier time picking it up. Also, we've had staff go through all the parks and get information on what we need to replace, bigger equipment and smaller. Currently, 218th and 223rd and Carroll Park have had a total of 10 seats with chains and some of the hangers and some of the hasping devices on the swing sets. We have 2 parks currently that we have to remove some slides. They're damaged, and we will be removing those in the next week. And currently, we're working on some of the fence work at a couple of the parks. Also, if you see children at the parks and they're damaging the equipment, they're climbing on the fences, this is damaged every time they do this. Please call the police department and let them deal with it. Don't approach them. My final item is street signs. Some residents have complained in the past about some of the street name signs or some of the notice signs that they're not in the right places. So we have staff going out making sure that all that is in place. We've replaced 10 20-mile-an-hour signs, 4 no parking, 2 street name signs. We replaced 5 of the green poles, which are standard poles, 8 of the hangers, which hold the street name signs on the poles themselves, and then miscellaneous parts to complete the task. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Question. Trustee?
Question. Director Weller, I was asked about the removal of ash trees, and I know that there was a conversation about ash trees about a year or 2 ago, I guess. How does that stand? How does that work?
Currently, beginning of next month, we'll have hopefully a couple extra helpers on staff, and we'll have a crew out pretty much daily working on those ash trees. We do have a little bit of a schedule of the older ones against some of the newer ones. The ones that don't have bark on them obviously are the oldest ones. Bark's fallen off already. The newer ones will still have bark, and some of them will even have bottom growth of the tree. So we'll work on the ones that are on Sauk Trail, which are the oldest, and on the north side of town, which is the ones we first sighted some of the beetles in the trees, and we'll keep working until we're done.
All right, thank you.
All right. Move to Finance Director, Director Raoul.
No report.
Thank you. Move to Sauk Village Homeland Security.
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee.
Yes, Mohan, I did ask, I think it was at the last board meeting 2 weeks ago, about the status as far as the village administrator, and I got 2 conflicting reports, and I was just wondering, did you have a chance to find out if Mr. Fairman is a vendor or is he considered an employee of the village?
He's an employee of the village.
Okay, because the reason why I asked that, and that's what I was going to bring up, is when we had our problem at one time as far as paying our vendors, and we had an agent report with his name on it, him and Mr. Reed, it was in our immediate checks, and it did state that it was J.W. Fairman LLC, and then Mr. Reed, and that was on our accounts payable at one time as an immediate check. And I'm just trying to clarify to make sure that, you know, if that's it, if he's an employee, then he should get paid along with the, you know, the regular payouts as far as the payroll. It shouldn't be itemized because no other employee is itemized, and that's the reason why I asked that question. Thank you.
All right. Move to Sauk Village Homeland Security Assistant Director, Alderman Darnell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees. Over the past 2 weeks, ESDA has responded to 27 calls. The ESDA department responded to 7 fire alarms, 4 vehicle accidents, 2 smoke investigations, 1 CO alarm, 8 school patrol, 1 transformer fire, 1 structure fire, 2 assist other agencies, and 1 brush fire. So ends my report.
Thank you very much. Move to Human Relations Commission, Commissioner Frank Williams. Thank you, sir. Move to Housing Commission, Commissioner Holcomb.
No report.
Thank you, sir. Move to Senior Committee. And let's see here. Here's Senior Committee report. Is the 8th was the annual chili cook-off, was a huge success. I'm sorry, the 8th annual chili cook-off was a huge success with 15 chefs competing. Judges were from Southland Voice Barb Dorman, the mayor Kathy Tustinson, village clerk Debbie Williams, and trustee Rosie Lambs. We all had a very difficult time choosing the winners, and congratulations to the winners. First place went to Gigi Austin. She was first place last year also. Second place went to Rose Ketchum. Rose is in the audience. Thank you very much. And I have here third place went to First Lady Linda Hanks. So she's in the audience also, so congratulations. Also, the 50-50 winner was Rose Langston. Rose is right there. So many thanks to all the volunteers who participated and committee members. Senior Committee open senior activity again this Friday and every Friday from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. We got thank committee members Steve Shemkist and Frank Williams for being there and making sure that everything's open. The Sauk Village Bluegrass will not meet Easter Sunday. That's this Sunday coming up, March 27th. Monday, April 11th from 11:30 a.m. at 11:30 a.m. Bloom Township. Trustee Kevin Watson will speak on various services offered by the township. Blood pressure screening and lunch will follow with movie Private Benjamin at 12:30 p.m. at the McConaughey Public Library. This event is sponsored by McConaughey Library, and it's at the library. Reservations required for the luncheon. Call 708-757-4771, and it's a report.
Mr. Mayor, I forgot to tell you that I have Ms. Jazinski's report. She went home sick.
All right, you want to go ahead and we'll go back to IMD, the Administrative Service Director, and instead of saying Ms. Jazinski, we'll say J.W. Fairman.
Okay. She has indicated that we had 30 new water services begun in the month of February. 235 of the vacant houses on the current shut-off list as of March 16th on the south side equals about $105,147. 51 squatter living in home without service has been reduced to 41 for a 2-week period. Ticket for the months of January through March 22nd are as follows. Failure to abate nuisance, 26. Failure to maintain property, 4. Garbage service, 13. Inoperable autos, 23. No occupancy permit, 48. No parking or garbage day, 107. Parking commercial vehicles in residential areas, 5. Parking on non-hard surface, 9. Property maintenance, 4. Snow parking, 30. Water service required, 95. Business licenses were also renewed. Renewal letters were sent out on March 18th for the new license period. On April 11, 2016, the renewal letters for the contractor license were going out. This concludes her report.
Thank you very much. Before we move to item 6, I just want to real quick to see Pastor Pitts from Holy Praise Tabernacle is sitting out there in the audience. Thank you, Pastor, for attending. pastors the church on Torrance Avenue, right down the street here. So it's good to see you out there. It's good to see your smiling face. At least I have one smiling face. All right, move to item 6, new business. Motion to approve all accounts payable and disbursements for February 24th, 2016 through March 22nd, 2016, according to Sauk Village policy. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
That motion, is there a second?
Second.
That motion is second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Tate.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion approved. Move to item B, motion to approve regular board meeting minutes for February 23rd, 2016. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Yeah, motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Jones.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Tate.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams. Burgess.
Yes.
Motion approved. Item C, motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes for March the 8th, 2016. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Yeah, motion, is there a second?
Sorry.
Yeah, motion is second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Myers.
Yes.
Tate.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams. Yes. Burgess.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Motion approves. Item D, motion to approve insurance renewal for the Owens Group. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Yeah, motion, is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, motion and second. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Case.
as you know, we received the proposal last week during the meeting that we had, and we did not have, or I'll speak individually, I did not have opportunity to review this after we received it during the meeting, and I had some questions. How do you want that to be handled?
The Owens Group was here earlier tonight. There was an email sent out to the trustees. If you had questions, you could meet with them before the meeting to make sure you have clarification.
Well, the notice was about this document that's dated 3/27/16 to 3/27/17.
Okay.
The document that we received that's not the document we received last week.
There was a notice set out to the trustees that they had any questions for the owners group, that they would be here prior to the meeting if they were.
Right.
They're here now.
Well, I thought it was in regards to this document. So I hate the delay to go through all of this.
I was going to say, because when there's motion on the floor, you do have the ordinance. That's why we make sure they were here. You have 5 minutes.
Okay, then go ahead.
All right.
Proceed.
All right. Any other questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we are approving this one or the one that they presented last week?
I don't have my...
It's the same. There's been no changes to the insurance proposal, correct?
So it's the most updated one with all the actual numbers. Okay, so you're voting on what you have right there in front of you.
Okay, because this one in front of us is the finance agreement.
Oh, so what you have is the additional information that was requested.
That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking. Pardon?
No, we're voting on what you have before you, this renewal proposal. This is what I want you to have.
Okay, that's what I was asking. This is the commercial insurance renewal, and this is this the one that the young lady presented last week, or is this a new one about because I see in here now it's about the finance agreement. Is that all in one?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead, since they're here, have them go ahead and...
That's what I was,
Before
because I want to
we
make
have a
sure.
motion second on the floor, and go ahead. We got Valerie sitting here. Yeah, step on it.
So, Mr. Mayor, the reason I was asking, are we combining the two? That's what I'm trying to find out.
Trustee, if I may I come and see what you have?
Okay.
You got the finance. We got Bill Owens here too, so any of the hot questions we'll shoot toward him.
This is the same, that's the same. Oh, this is just the finance agreement for the program. You wanted 3 options, we were able to get you 2.
Okay.
And that's what this is. This is not necessarily for everyone, but I'm sorry, trustee Tate did ask for alternatives, so that's just to show the alternatives.
Okay, so this is nothing to do with...
No, that has nothing to do with you.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because I saw some numbers, I just want to make sure.
No,
Okay.
there's two options.
Well, then I don't have a question on it, because this is what we presented last week, then I have a question. I thought it was something else that it was going to be presented.
No, because
Just
it
this.
was requested last week to see that.
Right.
Right. All right, we got Bill.
And the only other thing that you all should know about is the two options. One is the first insurance that has been with the village for to operate within their cash flow, and the other is the alternative, which would not present the same option. So Bill wants to talk about that very quickly.
And I promise this is only going to be just, I'll do it within 1 minute.
I'm timing you.
Sir, as Valerie just mentioned, you have two finance, we're going to be presenting you with two finance agreements. This is going to be a first. The first one is what you've normally done to finance your total program cost. The second one is through negotiations, and we're negotiating with the First Funding. First Funding is owned by Wintrust. We are going to present a way in which you can finance your claims that you pay within your self-insured retention. So basically, it's going to act as an overdraft account. And that's going so that you don't have these huge payments due at one time. There'll be a finance agreement that spreads it out through the course of the year. And at the end of the policy term, the way the finance agreement is going to work from First Funding for the finance of the claims, it'll be all paid up and it'll streamline your payments around the course of the year. You won't have these situations where the third-party claim administrator is sending, about 50 emails at a minimum addressing that issue.
And I'm going to love that.
I have a meeting tomorrow at 3 o'clock to present that, and I am going to share what we have said here to the third-party claim administrator, because I think it's about $130,000 to do now that you are prepared to pay, but we are going to set it up so that you'll be able to pay the down payment on your program cost and pay a down payment on the claims funding, so that both items will be able to pay, the village will be able to pay both items on time and throughout the year. Much smoother program, much better approach.
Any other questions?
No, I just wanted to kind of explain. This is the line of credit, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It basically acts as a line of credit on the program, on the premium financing for your program. The collateral is your policies being able to cancel it with the insurance company and having power of attorney. Literally, the second option that we are going to implement for you is a line of credit. There is no collateral. They are literally giving you a loan.
Right, and the reason for it, I've read this, and the reason for it this way, because if we don't pay our portion, that claim still remains open, and that means the litigant can come back and redo.
What's happening is once the third-party claim administrator settles the claim, it has to be paid immediately.
Correct.
And when it doesn't get paid immediately, the claimant is saying, "Where's my money?"
Correct.
And then they go back to their attorney, their plaintiff's attorney. The plaintiff attorney starts the clock ticking again, and then they call your defense counsel for the defense on that claim. And now you've got to pay the legal bill for the plaintiff attorney and your defense attorney beyond the settlement. And that's what's been happening. Very expensive.
Okay, because that...
Not including my time. All the emails and calls I'm getting.
Your time is included.
Yeah.
But this would cut down, and then quite naturally next year it would kind of help out when we start going out trying to find different vendors, or when you go out to try to find different insurance companies can show that we have a line of credit, that we will be able to honor our agreement much easier than to pay them over a period of time for just our deductible alone.
Your insurance company already has a big giant smile on their face upon us telling them about
Yeah,
this.
because if we have litigation, we have to pay the first, on some claims, we have to pay the first 50,000. And so we could pay that to the financing company rather than pay it to the litigant, because what happens, he has a chance to go back and redo his claim, and then, like you said, our lawyers will get involved. So this would be an ongoing process. Basically, I looked at it as a line of credit, and this would be the amount that we pay. But I just wanted to reiterate that if we have in other words, if we don't have any not claims, but we don't have any outstanding debt on the line of credit, we pay nothing until we actually start using it.
That is correct.
Okay.
And to be clear, the document that you're holding, if you have the premium finance agreement, that's only for the program renewal. That's not the claim payment overdraft document that we're going to get to you shortly.
Okay. Thank you.
I know everyone was here last week got to hear the presentation, but for the people in the audience who were not here, hopefully I get this correct. Premium to premium, this year we only saw a 1% increase.
Correct.
So for a municipality, think about that, only a 1% increase. We're getting additional insurance coverage with that 1%. And I think the owners group has worked with the village, helping us put together safety committees and looking at areas we can improve in our community. I know that JW is working now with the safety committees and putting together lists and things of what needs to be done. And then Valerie, you're going to be starting doing quarterly reports that we can provide and use for evidence as we look forward, looking for insurance in the future. So, I mean, we have a joint working relationship with the Owens Group, and they are here working with our department heads and our employees, and especially with our administration. So I appreciate everything that you're doing and helping us lower our costs, at the same time getting us additional insurance coverage, even though we saw a 1% increase. You don't hear too many municipalities or even businesses where you only see a 1% increase. So thank you very much.
I just want to add very quickly, Mayor, I was thrilled to hear that the board did sign off on the HR assessment, because what that's going to do now is give you a lot of details on where we need to go in and set up programs for HR, which will also drive down your cost and allow for the employees, based on the recommendations, ultimately to have a very robust response from the administration.
All right, well, we haven't heard any other questions. All right, here now we have motion and second on the floor. No questions, ask for village clerk, please call roll.
Chase?
No.
Williams? Yes. Washington? Yes. Burgess?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Motion carries. Move to item number 7, miscellaneous comments from the Mayor and Board of Trustees. We'll start with Trustee Williams.
I have one question. For the Easter egg hunt, I see it says ages 0 to 13, but what are the under 0, like the under 1, what do they really do? The age limit is 0 to 13 for the Easter egg hunt.
So if you're under 0, you're not here.
Well, I'm saying like the under 1.
It depends, it could be here.
This is what I'm saying.
0.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the youngest I've ever been there with a kid was probably a year old. So, this whole 6-week-old kid thing is kind of goofy. So I'm just wondering, what is it,
treats.
Do they participate? I mean,
First picture with the Easter Bunny.
There you go, pictures with the Easter Bunny.
I mean, they gotta go out there and roll on the grass.
he's a scrapper. Don't talk about him. Yeah, he rolls over and he picks up his hat, so he's a scrapper.
All right. Anything else? Trustee Myers. Trustee Tate.
Nothing.
Trustee Jones. Oh, sorry.
There will be more information about the summer program going forward. It's still pretty early, in the early stages, trying to put it together. There will be flyers, registration, of course. as of now, the way we getting it together, the summer program will be for low income will be free. And that would, if you have the link card or any food or any assistance, the program is free. And others is $150 for the whole summer. And that includes lunch, breakfast and lunch. And there's a price breakdown if you have more than one child attending the program. I'm waiting to get volunteers in place in order to start to get a registration date. And I want to get that as soon as possible. That way we don't miss out on any of the funding that's being passed out with that. And be on the lookout for the next movie night that was presented by the American Cancer Society. I'm gonna try to present that a little bit more than it was the last time. It turned out pretty good. It was great surround sound. We watched the original Wizard of Oz. I haven't seen that. I'm 40. I haven't seen it in 30 some odd years. So it was like I watched it for the first time, and it was pretty clear. The projector was HD, and it was pretty good. And that's something that everyone would enjoy, the whole family. And all proceeds goes to benefit the American Cancer Society. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to remind everybody that we have 3 more weeks of rehearsal before our live play entitled Are You My Neighbor at Rickover Junior High School on Friday, April the 15th. So if you haven't been to rehearsal and you still want to be in the play, we have rehearsal 3 more Saturdays, just 3 more Saturdays, and it'll all be over. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Burgess. Thank you. Just real quick, what's happening is it should be out there on the back page or back table. Make sure you get a copy. A lot of stuff that you hear happens here today that's been talked about is in here. So if you have any neighbors, take it home and give it to your neighbors. Again, this has been talked about a lot. Easter egg hunt this Saturday here at the Village Hall from 11 to 2. Please make sure you get the word out. Church of God, Sauk Village Church of God is having their Easter egg hunt from 1 to 3. And then last but not least, I know I said it once, Easter is on Sunday, and may we never forget the real reason for Easter. All right? Oh, that's right, thank you very much. They're having the sunrise service, which is being put on by the Ministerial Association, and that's going to be where usually Shine on Sauk Village is located. That's going to be at 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, if I remember right. I just saw a flyer once. And that's on Sunday, the 27th. It's called Sunrise Service, and that's S-O-N instead of S-U-N. All right? With that said, ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Got a second? All in favor say aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
Mr.